Get to making with jive or shot. When it hits you, yes, 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 you shot. When it hits you, yes, 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 yes. When it hits you, yes, 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 you shot. When it hits you, yes, 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 you holler, yes. 1, 2, 3, do it.
All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I am Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thanks for joining us today on the live stream. I always want to say Site or Zenfolio Live for some reason. I have to stop myself. But hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Keep in mind we do have 2 live environments going on, so shout out to all of you guys who are watching us on YouTube. Roxanne Bay, I can't even say that one, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to totally mess it up. Lynn, Home Phone, and everybody else who's hanging out there with us on YouTube. And then a shout out to you guys who are hanging out with us here on Zoom. We've got Allison, Bill, Izelle, James, Maria, Noel, Stan, Reese, Terry, and Atala. I'm trying to say it right. If I mess up your name, let me know. I'm good at messing up names. You are welcome to make fun of me in either YouTube chat or there in Zoom chat as well. All right, you guys, today we're going to be reviewing 3 websites. Those of you guys that know how it works, I already see people throwing numbers out in the chat. So to get me started, go ahead and throw a number out in the chat, 1 through 110. We're going to be reviewing 3 different websites live today. Each site is going to get 15 minutes per review. And then that third site that we review is going to come from one of you guys who are hanging out with us on the live stream. Might be one of you guys from Zoom, might be one of you guys from YouTube. Here in a second, I am going to throw the number or the link in Zoom chat for you guys to submit your site. In fact, I'll do it right now. Let me just do that. There is a doc in that Zoom chat. You guys can submit your site to be reviewed there. Anyway, the third site's going to be coming from one of you guys who are hanging out with us live. And as always, during these reviews, we are giving out points, but we're not really keeping score. We're just having fun. And this is all really to hopefully help everybody have a more functional, more visually appearing, and better website. All right. Hanging out with me today, I got Katie taking care of you guys on both YouTube and Zoom. So make sure that you guys show her some love. She's got a big job ahead of her moderating 2 different live events or live environments. So big shout out to her. I appreciate her jumping on here every Tuesday and hanging out with me. And then as far as announcements go, this week on Zenfolio Live, so coming up this Thursday, we're going to be talking about understanding Zenfolio's access control and privacy settings. So if you're brand new to Zenfolio, maybe you've been on Zenfolio for a while and you've never really kind of understood what the access control, the privacy settings are, password protecting client galleries while keeping others public, different things like that. If you kind of feel that way, this week's Zenfolio Live is definitely going to be one that you are going to want to make sure that you join us on. So you can also register for Zenfolio Live just like you did for Site Review Tuesday if you're hanging out with us on Zoom. If you want to register, that link to register should be in your email as well. So if not, it's definitely, I can definitely get it for you guys. You guys who are watching on YouTube, if you want to register to get email reminders for this, whether you're watching it live now or if you're watching the recording later, in the description below the video, there's going to be links where you can actually register to receive email updates and email reminders whenever we do these live events every Tuesday and every Thursday. All right, Katie is also going to be announcing the winner from last week's Zenfolio Live. So we did our 200th episode of Zenfolio Live last week. If you guys haven't watched a recording of it, you definitely want to make sure that you check it out. Laura Greer came on, hung out with us for the entire hour and then some. She dropped some amazing social media business building knowledge on us. So if you haven't checked that out, it's definitely a recorded live stream that you want to go back and check out. We had a lot of fun. We did some giveaways, some other crazy stuff. And Katie's going to be announcing the winner of the last giveaway that we did on that live stream here shortly whenever I go take a quick break. Finally, as always, we are continuing to challenge you guys to share some positive, beautiful images on your social media. This month, we're focusing on travel photos. So share your best travel photo out on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're active on social media. And when you do that, make sure that you use the hashtag Zenfolio photographers to be featured for a chance to be featured on one of our social media channels. So make sure that you're using that hashtag Zenfolio photographers. Okay, let's see. Let me go back. So I'm going to pull this first number from YouTube. The next number I'm going to pull from you guys hanging out with us on Zoom. So the first number I saw in the YouTube chat looked like it was number 58. Let me just go back. Oh, no. Yeah, no. It's Kathy Bennigaton. I'm trying to pronounce names right, you guys. It's not my forte, sorry. With number 56. So that's going to determine the first site that we review. So let me go over here and see which site is site 56, and we will get that started. Let me see here. And if you guys are wondering, like, what's my site number and all of that, what we do is whenever you submit a website to be reviewed, it comes into a doc, and that doc assigns it a random number. And then to start things off, I have people throw random numbers in chat to kind of help these site reviews be random. So you can't really see your site number anywhere. It's on a doc that I use kind of behind the scenes, and that's where that number comes from. And site 56 just so happens to be, looks like janemurdochphotography.co.uk. So let me grab this, bring this over here. I'm going to go ahead and copy the link. I'll throw that link out into YouTube chat for you guys, and then I'll throw that link out in the chat for you guys there on Zoom as well. That way you guys have that link to go ahead and check out if you want to check the site out. We're going to go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock, so I'm going to bring my little timer up here. We're going to start 15 minutes and we're going to get this review started. And at the end of the review, after this 15 minutes is up, we'll start another review. Okay, here we go. Let me get that timer going. There we go. Okay, so there should be, where did it go? Where'd my timer go? Let me get it back up here. Let's see. The timer is disappearing on me. Start countdown. All right, well, that's fine. I can see it up in my window, so that's fine. Okay, so just to get this started, we'll bring this down so you guys can kind of see the web address and see this different stuff up here. So just to get started up here, Jane, your favicon right up here at the top is a little small. Keep in mind that is a 16 by 16 pixel image. So a lot of times people try to upload their logo in there, and a lot of times if we have a bigger logo, that logo file doesn't really transfer as well to a small 16 by 16 pixel. As you can see, it kind of looks like a little bit of scribble. Maybe if I zoomed in a little bit, I'd be able to kind of see it. So usually what I do recommend is making sure that you make a simplified version of your logo. Maybe for instance, you would just take kind of this J and kind of put a square around it and really pronounce it and put that up there. Not a huge deal, not a big deal at all. In fact, I wouldn't even worry about this until you're sure that the rest of your site is the way that you want, but just something I like to point out because I am up here. The other thing too up here, you guys are going to hear me talk about this a lot on Site Review Tuesday because this is something that is super important for SEO, and that is your website title. Now, this is one of those settings that when we first create our Zenfolio account, usually we go in, we set that up, and then we never really go back and think about it. And so during that process of creating our account, we never really think about what that particular setting is. And I'm not going to go into where that setting's at. If you go back to our Zenfolio live stream archive, I do cover a video that talks about SEO and it shows where this particular setting is. But this is your website title. And what this is it will help your SEO. So when you do a search on Google for a photographer or whatever you're searching for, that big bold title that you see in all the search results, that's the website title. And so it's not so important up here, but it is important for those SEO options in there. So what you want to do is make sure that you're putting more information in there than just your business name, right? Make sure that you put the type of photography that you do. Maybe add a tube. Maybe put Jane Murdoch or Murdoch photography, a tube, and then portrait photography, headshot photography, and then your location. Add your location in that title as well, because that's super, super helpful. All right, let's go ahead and just drag this back up to the top here. And we'll keep going. I like the logo. I really like this kind of whole design that we have going on right here. I think this logo is really nice, really simple, really easy to see, and it's really elegant. So I think this is really nice. I love this part of it right here. There is a lot of real estate between the logo and the site menus, as well as up here. So a couple of things you could think about. I definitely recommend that you do have some padding, but I think that this header overall is taking up quite a bit of space here on your website, so that might be something you want to think about. I don't know, what do you guys think in chat? Do you guys think this is quite a bit of space? Do you think this is just enough? Curious, let me know what you guys think in chat. But so a couple of things you want to do for logos. Make sure that when you're creating your logo in Photoshop that you crop in as tight as possible to the logo. One way you can do that is you can hold Command on your keyboard, click on that logo layer so it will select just the logo, and then hit your crop tool and crop it that way, and then export that as a transparent PNG file with all of the background layers turned off. And the reason that you want to crop it in so tight is because you can add padding in Zenfolio. So that way, when you get your logo into your header, you can actually go in and add padding and adjust it. Versus if you built the padding in, it might actually be too much, and then you're stuck going back and forth between Photoshop to uploading and then reloading and viewing it. So crop in that logo as tight as possible, and then play around with the padding in the header setting. Okay, so you have a really busy site menu. I don't see any utilization of drop-down menus. And so one of the things that I am immediately concerned about is that we probably have some site menu items that we're not seeing due to the size of this window. And one of the things that I can do to kind of test that out is if I grab this window and I drag it, you can start seeing additional site menu items show up. So let me just show you here. Look at all that. So there was at least I don't know, 3 site menu items that we could not see because they were getting lost due to the size of this window. And so that is where utilizing the drop-down options are going to really help your site function a lot better. Not only is it going to help your site function a lot better and make sure that those menu items don't get lost, but it's also going to make the navigation easier for your visitors as well, because now instead of having to go to these different options right here, there'll be a little portfolio option, and then they could hover over it and see all of the other options, which is going to kind of condense your site menu together, make it much more easy for people to navigate, make sure that all of your site menus are showing up and not getting lost. So utilize that drop down option. If you're not sure how to create a drop down, if you just do a search on our YouTube channel, we have several videos that really deep dive into setting up the navigation, setting up your site menu. Just look for customizing the site menu, and I think a video will pop up on that on our YouTube channel that will show you how to build those drop downs. So let's go back to the homepage. Let's keep looking at that really quick. So again, lots of site menu items. Now the images here are beautiful, absolutely beautiful images. Let's see how many there are though. So we're going to so you are using this photo strip. I'm kind of a fan of the photo strip. The benefit of a photo strip is it allows you to show portrait orientated images and landscape orientated images kind of mixed in, and it doesn't crop anything off. And so if you are building a website and you want to show on your homepage a mixture of landscape orientated images and portrait orientated images, and maybe you're using a slideshow and you might be noticing that those portrait orientated images are getting cropped off a little weird, that's because that full screen slideshow is optimized for landscape orientated photos. Now there are some ways around that by doing like a collage image or something like that, but if you don't want to do that, the photo strip, which is what we're seeing right now, is a really good option that you should consider. So that photo strip, like I said, it force fits these portrait orientated images in here with the landscape orientated images. Now it's one downside. The one thing that I don't like about the photo strip, as you guys are kind of seeing, is that it's not an automatic slider. So it does take some manual interacting with your visitors to actually show your images. So in other words, they do have to kind of scroll their mouse across the screen to get this thing to work. So let's just take a look really quick at some of the images. Now I am noticing that some of these have like this little watermark or this icon right here. I'm not quite sure what it is. I noticed that it does say Bronze Award. I'm curious what you guys think about the watermark or that being on these images. Is this really important to show here? It looks like maybe you won an award for that particular image. Is this really adding value? Curious what you guys think. I'm kind of on the fence. Not sure that this is something that visitors would be really interested in seeing here. Maybe if you had an awards section somewhere up here, maybe that would be a better place to showcase your awards. Just a personal opinion though. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's just see how many images there are here. So there does appear to be quite a bit of images as we progress through this. And I saw a couple of dog photos. Now we're getting into some different things right here. Probably what I would suggest for your homepage is you pick your best 5 to maybe 10 images on here, because we don't want people staying on this page. This is a page where we want to catch people's attention. We want to show them that that we can do the type of work that hopefully that they're looking for, but we don't want them to stay here and keep scrolling through this, right? This is just what grabs their attention and lets them know, yes, I need to learn more about this photographer. Let me move on to the rest of their site. So I would definitely consider culling these images down. If you have several different genres of photography that you do, I would choose my best favorite image from each genre first. And then if you only have a handful of images, then maybe go back and pick a couple of more. Try to keep it to 5 to 10 at the most. Again, we don't want people spending a lot of time here. You can also kind of remove duplicate kind of images where it's of the same person but a little different. This is kind of where we want them to get into our portfolio to see the rest of this stuff. Okay. All right, let's move down here. And so it looks like you do have some images in here. So beautiful moments captured naturally. The one thing that I am not sure of yet, and maybe we can find out as we read, but the locations that you service is so important for that information to be on your homepage. Now, I do know that you're somewhere in the UK because your web address is .co.uk, but let's just see if we find any of that information out down here. I want to take first opportunity to meet special. Okay, so it looks like you have in here some kind of customer reviews. Customer reviews are amazing, super, super helpful. I'm not sure that I would have them on the homepage. This would be a great place for you to, again, talk about the types of services you offer, mention specific locations that you do those services in, and maybe just talk about the different type of photography that you do. I think having customer quotes is amazing. If you really want to show the customer quotes, maybe mix in a few on top of some images in here through Photoshop or something like that, or just have a reviews section. But on this homepage, really, I would say gear this towards telling people the type of photography you do and mentioning locations, because that's going to help your SEO. These customer quotes, if you read into these customer quotes, and this is why I'm saying this, if you look at these customer quotes, this is good information if people actually get here to see this, but there's no information inside of this customer quote that is going to help your homepage be found better in search. There's no particular keywords or anything like that that's really going to benefit your SEO, and that's really what I think you want to have on your homepage. Okay, beautiful images though, just absolutely love the photos. We're going to go ahead and check out some of the portfolios. So we're just going to go to portraits first and take a quick look. We've got about 3 minutes left in this, so I'm going to try to make it through some of these portfolios. I know I spent a lot of time on the homepage. You guys that are hanging out with us on Zoom, go ahead and throw a number in the chat, a number from 200 to 305, and that's going to determine the next website that we review. So this is going to come from you guys in Zoom. Throw a number in the Zoom chat, 300 or 200 to 300, and I think what I say, 2 or 3, something like that. Okay, so portrait session, let's see here. So a couple things that are missing. Captions up here. Let's talk about this gallery. Let's talk about why you love what you do. Let's mention specific locations. Do you have a studio? Is there a specific park in your area that you like to do portrait sessions? Again, think about providing visitors with good information, but then also at the same time providing search engines with information that helps this stuff be more searchable. And that's really what you want to focus on. Now, also, a lot of these images are the same images that we're seeing on the homepage. I'm not totally against that, but I would say that it looks like you have quite a few images, so you might consider maybe using some of the other images from these shoots rather than showing the same images on your homepage. And then the first menu item that we get into here, we're now seeing the exact same image. So it's not really helpful for us, the visitor, to go into your portraits portfolio and see the exact same image that we saw on the homepage. So something to think about there. And as a couple of people are saying, I do tend to agree. I think that these award logos here, while it's really cool, I think that they would be better suited on a custom page talking about those awards rather than just kind of showing them over the images here. Some beautiful images though. I am running low on time, so I'm going to go down to the bottom because what I'm looking for down here is I'm looking for categories and keywords right down here. And unfortunately, we don't see categories and keywords. So if you have taken the time to keyword these images, to categorize them, then unfortunately, that work that you put in is not doing any good because it's not showing up here. So search engines are not going to see it. They're not going to index it. They're not going to realize that it's relevant information. So something to think about, turning on that categories and keywords. Also, your portfolios have quite a few images. I would definitely consider, again, culling these down to maybe your 10 to 15, 20 maximum best images. We've got like a minute left. Let's see. Let's go to your commercial really quick. Let's take a look. I'm going to guess that your site is pretty consistent, although I do see here that you are utilizing the caption here. Also the title too. Think about more information in your title. Commercial photography for blah, 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 or whatever. Just adding more information than just the type of photography that this is a portfolio of is going to be really helpful. So something to think about there. Okay. Again, just some beautiful images though, as people are saying on chat, some lovely, lovely, really strong work. It looks like you do several different types of commercial photography. So this is where I would probably recommend breaking up your commercial photography into different categories and having a drop down for commercial photography, real estate, projects, interiors, different things like that. So you have a category that people can get directly to the specific type of photography that they're looking for that portfolio. I'm going to check your About page out. We are out of time on this review, but I am going to click your About page. One of the things I always like to look for is I always like to see if you have a photo of yourself, because I think that is super, super important to have. So you do have a photo of yourself, so nice job there. And then you have some information in here. No. Let's see whether it's a portrait. So one of the things I'm looking for is I'm still a little confused as to the locations that you service. So that's one of the things that's really important to put in there is mention the locations where you work out of. If you have a studio, maybe say I do portrait sessions in my studio located in wherever you are. I wouldn't give the address if you don't want, but mention the town. And then if you shoot portrait sessions locally, like at different locations, maybe mention those specific locations as well. So something to think about there. All right. Well, Jane, thank you so much for submitting your site for review. Hopefully I gave you some really good pointers to think about and to consider. Unfortunately, I did run out of time. We're going to have to go ahead and grab that next site, which I'm going to see which number you guys threw there in a chat for me to grab. So let's see what you guys threw in here in Zoom chat. Let's see. Robert said site number 300. So I'm going to go grab site 300. Now, I'm going to do this review. And then, guys, when we come back after this review, we're going to review one of your guys' sites who are hanging out with us live. So if you haven't submitted your site to be reviewed yet, you still have a good 15 minutes to get it in there. And I did throw that link out in Zoom chat for you guys. So make sure that you click on that and submit your site. Let me go over here and grab site 300 and get that started. So let me see. It looks like site 300 that's petlovephotography.com. So let me get that, drag it over here really quick, and we'll get 15 minutes up on the clock. Let me see if I can actually get my clock to show up. I don't know where my clock went. It's just like hanging out in my dock. So hopefully I can figure that out later. All right. So let's go ahead and get that timer set up and we will start the review. Start the countdown. There we go. Okay. So let me go ahead and throw this link out in chat for you guys right here. I'm going to throw this out for you guys in Zoom. This is petlovephotography.com. And then I'm going to throw it out for you guys on YouTube chat as well. There we go. All right, so I'm going to pull this down really quick so you guys can just take a look at this. Pet Love Photography. And as you can see right up here, when I hover over this, there is a little bit more information in this. You can see kind of by that hover. Again, that text in that specific setting is not really that important. But again, it's so important for SEO. So make sure that you put some information in there other than just the name of your business. Really think about what you're putting in there, right? Location and type of photography is super important for the SEO. Location and type of photography that you're doing. So that's kind of the information you want to have in here. Really cool logo. Kind of matches the logo down here. Well, you guys can't see that, but you will in a second. So really cool logo there. All right, let's get this up. Let's see if I can get to more than just the portfolios. Okay, so starting off right up here, let's just go back. Some really cool images. One of the things that I'm noticing pretty consistently is that we have this watermark right here on the images. Now, when it comes to watermarks on the images, I would probably set up a special gallery for the homepage to where that watermark doesn't appear on those particular images. As you guys can see, it's a little distracting. It doesn't work super well with this kind of layout. It's getting kind of cropped off halfway. Now, maybe if you wanted to do something up here in the top right corner where it appears more like a logo, maybe something like that. But I would definitely consider maybe doing away with the watermark on the homepage. What do you guys think in chat? Let me know. I definitely know the importance of watermarking your images that are up online. So if that's something that's super important, if you feel like your images may be in danger of being screenshot and used without your permissions, definitely keep that watermark on. But curious what you guys think in chat about watermarks on the images here on the homepage. Okay, we have this really cool welcome message up here. So a couple of things you might think about doing here is you might think about getting rid of this kind of weird spacing. I'm not sure what's causing that. You might want to go in, see if you maybe double spaced or something like that. Get rid of that. And I don't think, so looking at this so far, I I haven't really seen any of the images that this watermark affects. So it looks like, or not the watermark, this welcome message. It looks like you really did a good job. That one maybe a little bit, but other than that, for the most part, that one a little bit, but for the most part, the subject in these images is kind of dodging that welcome message. So it's not too bad. Maybe think about that a little bit. Maybe shrinking that down. Maybe choosing a different layout where it has the welcome message down here. Because again, the welcome message is not super important for visitors to see. It does need to be visible for visitors, but really it's where you're talking about the type of photography you do and the locations that you serve for SEO purposes, but it does need to be visible for visitors to see. So something to think about there. Okay, so you do have your location information entered here, so nice job on that. And some really beautiful images. So I'm just really liking these pet photos. Some super fun images, lots of cool stuff. That's adorable. So really cool stuff. What do you guys think in chat? Curious what you guys think about this kind of bottom navigation setup right here. This is definitely different from traditional. So usually websites have the navigation on top. So one thing I worry about with this setup is that going to cause some confusion for people who maybe don't think to scroll down? Maybe they're on a screen and it's not showing everything and they don't think to scroll down. Is that navigation down below going to be confusing for people? What do you guys think in chat? Let me know. Let's see. I do love the colors, so you definitely have thought about your colors. You have a really fun feel, lighthearted feel to your website. I love this. I think you've done a great job picking images out that really represent that. Let's go ahead and kind of traverse through this site menu and take a look at the rest of your site. So we're going to hover over portfolio. Nice use of drop downs. So in this case, they're actually drop ups, or that's not the right word. What would you guys call these? Because they're drop downs, but they're going up. So pop-ups, there we go. Thank you, Judy. So nice use of pop-ups in this case, where we can get to these different portfolios. So this is a nice way to have this organized. Now, one of the things I would take a look at is maybe the font size. Looking at this, when you hover over it, that pink on white, I can see it pretty well, but for me, it feels borderline hard to read. So maybe thinking about increasing that font size a little bit, increasing the boldness, maybe something like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at this really quick. We're going to click on dog photography. And we're just going to check out that portfolio really quickly here. So let's go to dog photography. There we go. And dog portraits, pet photography, Cincinnati. So look at this. So this is a really great use of the gallery title right here. What we're seeing is the gallery title. That is a nice use of it. You see how it has this different information in there? Big thumbs up to that. That is what you want to have in a gallery title, because it tells us the type of photography, tells us the location, all of that information. So that is really, really nicely done. I would love to see a caption here, maybe where you talk about specific locations, specific parks that you do these shoots at, or maybe you mention your studio. Captions, you guys, are pretty much one of the most underutilized features on Zenfolio. So go in there, check out your captions. You can actually put links in there. You can do all kinds of different stuff like that. So make sure that you go in there and you play with captions. They're really, really powerful. You can do a lot of different things in there. Okay, a couple of things on here. This is a portfolio, so we do have these select photos buttons showing. Not sure 100% what we would be doing here, other than I guess adding them to favorites. What do you guys think in chat? Is there a reason for select photos to be shown here on a portfolio? Because this is an option that you can go in and independently turn off. So let me know what you guys think in chat. Typically on portfolios, unless there's a very specific reason, usually I like to keep it really simple. The less options and distracting elements I can show on there, I feel like the better. So that is something that I would definitely think about. Let's go back up here. And also a couple of things. When we hover over the photos, we are seeing this kind of number right up here, that sequence number. I'm always careful when it comes to showing sequence numbers because that sequence number is not tied to that specific image. So a couple of things you want to ask yourself here. Are those sequence numbers necessary? If they are necessary, do they need to make sure that they are tied to that number? Because that sequence number just represents that image's position in the gallery. And so if you shift the gallery around, if you move things around, then this image no longer is image number 1. The sequence number would then only would show something else down here. So that is something that you can remove by going into the customize section of the gallery. And then if you go to, I believe it's under the thumbnails section, there's an option to where you can turn on and off the sequence number. If you do a search on our YouTube channel for customizing the client gallery, there should be a video that will go in and show you a lot of these options of how to turn these different things off. I like that you have the share button here. I think that's super useful for portfolios. Makes it really easy for somebody who might come across your site that knows somebody looking for a photographer to say, oh, cool, I like this photographer's work. Let me just go ahead and just share their site out to my Facebook and tag that person, or just copy the link. And that share actually just sends the traffic back to your site. It doesn't share any images outside of your website at all. So definitely something to think about there. It's nice having that option up there. Okay, let's scroll down. Let's kind of take a look at the rest of this gallery. Just some beautiful images, just some absolutely beautiful images. We are having some people say that the watermark is maybe a little obtrusive. I'm on the fence about it. I think that it's a really cool watermark. I definitely know why you have images watermarked, because it's too easy for people to come in here and screenshot. So that's kind of one of those things that you have to think about what is best for you. Let's keep going down here. Not seeing any categories and keywords. So if you have this gallery categorized and keyworded, it's not doing you any good because Google can't see it. So Google therefore doesn't think that those categories and keywords are useful information. Again, we have videos that cover that stuff in great detail. Make sure that you go to our YouTube channel, do a search for Zenfolio SEO settings. There's lots of videos. If you type in the word SEO on our YouTube channel, I promise several videos are going to pop up that will show you all of those different features. So something to think about there. Beautiful, beautiful photos though. All right, let's go. Let's take a look at, let's do one more portfolio. Let's go to pets and their people. And then we're going to kind of progress through the rest of your site here. So again, really consistent. Bonus points for being consistent. Really nicely done. I really love that you're keeping these colors consistent, that you're using this theme. I love that you have these different colors. Now, one of the things that's a little weird is the yellow. So you might think about how can you use the reverse of the pink and white, or maybe how can you incorporate some of the black that you have in your logo in place of that yellow somewhere, just because that yellow color is just a little strange. It's not a big deal at all. It's not anything that I would lose sleep over tonight or tomorrow, but as you get a chance, I would definitely make sure that you go back and you think about maybe incorporating some of that black or just the reverse of the pink and white or something like that in that color theme. But really nicely done having it super consistent. So we're going to keep scrolling down here. It looks like your portfolio galleries are going to be set up pretty consistently. So same feedback as I had before. Categories and keywords, super important, especially if you have taken the time to keyword these photos. You need that stuff showing to actually benefit your website. So something to think about. Okay, let's go check out the rest of your site though. Let's go to check out your books here. Okay. And so I clicked on books. You guys might not see what happened, but that did open us up to another website. So, and it looks like this website is completely separate from the one that we were on before, right? You can see right here. So bonus points to you for setting this up to open in a new tab when it left that photography site and went to something else. Too many times I see people have it open in the same tab and then we lose this website navigation, Or we see people do the opposite to where I'm clicking on a portfolio and then that opens up in a new tab and we didn't really need it. So nice job having that open in a new tab when we actually needed it to. All right, you guys, we've got like 2 minutes left in this review. So when those 2 minutes are up, I'm going to be taking a quick break. Katie's going to hop on here. So you've got 2, 3, maybe minutes most to go ahead and submit your site to that link. And then when we come back from that break, I'll be reviewing one of your guys' sites who are hanging out with us live. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Zoom, this is your 3-minute warning to get your site submitted if you haven't done it already. Okay, let's go ahead and close this, and let's just keep looking at this site here. So let me get it slid back up. We'll go down to books, rescue dog book. Let's take a look at this. All right. Nice. So this is really cool. This is a custom page. Big thumbs up to you for setting up this custom page. We've got this image in here, and then down here at the bottom, it talks about the book. And it looks like it also shows where you can purchase this as well. So really cool stuff. Custom pages like this do a couple of things for you. Obviously, they let you show things and create things that aren't available as built-in pages here on Zenfolio. But this text information is great for your SEO as well. And then you have this link to the Amazon site. So nice job on there. I want to click on this. I want to see if that, and there you go. Opened up right into a new tab. So nice job. Really, really nicely done. Okay, let's go back up here and let's see if we can get through a few more site menu items. Let's go check out your blog. Curious to see how much you've updated your blog. August 14th, 2020. So 4 days ago, you did a new blog post. August 7th was the one before that. July 31st. Nice. Nice. Super big bonus points. I don't have all of my fun toys set up yet where I can make the little sounds and the screen things pop up. So, 2 thumbs up for you for keeping that blog up to date and being that on top of it. Blogs are so good for your SEO. This is really, really good information. Nicely done there, having that updated. All right, 30 seconds. Let's check out your About page really quick, and then we'll take a break in just a few seconds. So, Susanna... Okay, so great job. You've got a lot of good information in here. You have a photo of you and your pet, right? As a pet photographer and as somebody looking to have their pet photoed, when they go to your About page, what are they wanting to see? Of course, they're wanting to see a photo of you with your pet. So nice job there having that set up. Looks like you've got a lot of good information in here. Look at this. Really nicely done. Super, super great site. The only feedback I have is really on that homepage. Just that navigation down at the bottom, maybe the watermarks, that little welcome message up at the top left. But your site has been super consistent from that point on. Really love the way that it's set up. Great color choices. I might think about that yellow a little bit. But overall, I got to say, Susanna, great, great site. I love, love, love what you have going on. Okay. All right, you guys, I am going to have Katie jump on here really quick. She's going to announce the winner from last week's Zenfolio Live contest. And she's going to give me a break. Let me grab us some tea, and then I'm going to come back and review the live chat viewer, or the live, what is it? How should I say this? The live audience, website, and I gotta enable your video because I guess I didn't do that for you, huh? So 1 second, let me help you out there, Katie. I'm so sorry. I got to can I do it? You know what? I'm just going to make you a co-host, Katie. So now you should be able to enable your video, and then I'm going to jump off and take a break.
Upgrade. Thanks to Robert for being our fearless leader always. Thank you all so much for joining us on YouTube and Zoom. I always have a good time hanging out with y'all in the chat. I wanted to give a big congratulations to Jennifer Voigt of barefootlifestylebyjen.com. That's barefootlifestylebyjen with 2 N's.com. Jennifer's answer to our question of what the most meaningful shoot she had ever done was that she did a newborn shoot for a couple who had previously lost a child. And she photographed the birth, and there was a scare during the birth, but everything turned out okay. And Jennifer was able to capture everything in the process. So super inspired to hear about her story, and a $50 giveaway is on its way to her. So thanks so much to Jennifer for submitting that touching story to us. I hope that you all are getting really useful information out of these site reviews as always. We're so happy to have you join us. Please click the like button in YouTube if you're hanging out with us there. And any feedback or questions that you have, field those over to the Q&A section on the Zoom window. So we're really grateful to have you guys with us. I don't know how much time Robert was planning on getting his, hopefully, I think Robert's been doing green tea. I know that someone had told him to try Earl Grey, but he never confirmed whether or not he was going to go Earl Grey. But that's a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. I really enjoyed that Pet Love photography site because I'm an Australian Shepherd enthusiast. You can't see mine behind me probably, but she's right there keeping me company all the time, which reminds me I need to take some photographs of her. So I hope that you can hear my audio okay. I hope my video's coming through okay. It's great to see all of you joining us in chat again, in Zoom and YouTube. So please just let me know if you have any questions along the way. And I'm looking forward to seeing which one of your sites gets reviewed today. It should be great. It's always great. So I'm going to hand this back to Robert. And thanks again, you all, for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Katie. As always, you guys, she does such an amazing job hanging out with me every single Tuesday, helping me pronounce names. I'm a terrible name pronouncer. She's always spelling the pronunciations for me in the background, making sure that I don't embarrass myself too much. But okay, we're going to go ahead and get back to site review. So the live audience members site that was randomly selected for review is, let me go grab that. It looks like it's going to be AlisonFurlongPhotography.com. So I am going to bring that over here. And we're going to get 15 minutes up on the clock for that review. Love that pet photography site as well. If you guys haven't heard me mention it before, typically I have a 120-pound Great Dane sleeping about 5 feet away from me when I'm live streaming. So I am a big dog lover as well. Okay, let me throw this link out for you guys on YouTube, and I'm going to throw it out for you guys there in Zoom. You guys can check the site out if you want. Let's go ahead and just do that. And we're going to go ahead and get 15 minutes up on the clock, and I'm going to get that site review going. So let me get that started. All right, here we go. So AlisonFurlongPhotography.com. We're just going to go ahead and start right here. Really cool logo. It is a little on the small side, a little hard for me to see. It might just be my window is a little small, but I do think that this is a really cool logo. I love the dragonfly right here. Dragonflies have a very special meaning to my family. So I think this is really cool that you have this up here. Really nicely done. And I like that you kind of mentioned this stuff right here. So one of the things is, let's just bring this down just to kind of keep everything consistent. I'm looking up here at the top. All I see in your website title section up here is all I see is your domain name. And so you definitely want to make sure that you put, again, more information in there than just your business name, your domain name. So you want to put information in there like your business name, a tube, the type of photography you do, and the location that you serve. Again, so helpful for your SEO. That's really what that information is for. I don't see a favicon up here. Not a big deal at all. I wouldn't lose any sleep over that at all. But you could definitely utilize that dragonfly somehow in a smaller icon up here. Again, I love dragonflies, so I'm just going to kind of mention that. Let's bring this back up and let's take a look at these images because I'm seeing some lovely, lovely images. So you're using a grid homepage layout, which I'm kind of a fan of. You can manipulate this grid homepage layout to actually be a portfolio preview where people can actually click on specific images and go directly into that portfolio. I've done a live stream on that. I think it's maybe been a year, so you might just look up grid portfolio or something like that on our YouTube channel, and there'll probably be a video that will show you how to do that. You definitely want to make sure that you check that out. Just scrolling down, looking at this scroll bar here, there are quite a few images. I mean, it's not too overwhelming, but again, we want to make sure that we're not keeping people on this homepage. The other thing that I am kind of missing on here is text where it talks about your location, the type of photography that you do. Even if you just enable the welcome message and have it show way down here at the bottom, just having that text on your homepage is so good for your SEO. So something to think about. All right, as far as the image count goes, you might consider culling these down just a little bit. But I don't know, what do you guys think in chat? Let me know. Usually, again, I usually say 10 to 5 to 10 of your best images on the homepage, but what do you guys think in chat? Again, love you guys' input. Curious what you guys think. Let me know. Let's go ahead and get into this. Now, it does look like you're utilizing drop-down menus. A little curious about the navigation setup that you have. So if you guys have hung out with us on Site Review Tuesday, you know that I preach a lot about site navigation. This is setting up your website to tell your visitors where to go, right? So as people, we have been taught for years to do things from left and right. Obviously, there are always exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, we do things, we read from left to right, we follow things from left to right. And so this is kind of the path that you've provided for visitors. And you really want to think about visitors. Clients is a separate deal. Clients, you already have their business, so you already have contact with them, communication with them. Their setup can be totally different and doesn't have to be as mindful because you already have that communication built. Obviously, you want to think about that experience for them, but your website as a whole, in my opinion, should definitely be focused towards client acquisition. You should be focusing on those visitors who maybe this is the first time or the second time they've ever interacted with your site. How are you telling them to do what you want them to do? What kind of path or guide are you giving them so that they see the things you want them to see and they take the actions that you want them to take? I did a really cool live stream interview with Evan Chung of Evan Chung Photography a couple of weeks back. He deep dives into talking about intention for your website. I would go back and check that out because site navigation is so important, so important. Something to think about. Okay, so we're going to go to About. We're going to check out your inspiration really quick. Never postpone joy, pursue it. Allison was always loved taking. Okay. So I'm guessing that this is a photo of you. I'm not 100% sure. And then also I noticed that this is kind of written in the third person. Now I know professionally there's a lot of people that will tell you to write your about messages in the third person. I am definitely not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that it comes across to me a little strange when I'm on your website reading your about page and it's talking about you in the third person. Curious what you guys think in chat about that. Do you think that third person perspective gives us a more professional stance? Does it come across a little weird? Let me know what you guys think about that in chat. As people are saying, we've already seen some beautiful photos though, so some absolutely gorgeous photos that we're seeing here. But let's see. So it does talk about your education in here. And the other thing too, when I talk about pages, your about page is where you make your visitors fall in love with you, right? The goal is to get them to stick around your website because they've seen your images, they like what they see, they like your style of photography, they love the work that you produce, and now your about page is where you make them fall in love with you. Right? That is the page where they connect with you. That's the page where they're like, oh man, this person does great work. And I love what I'm reading about this person. Like I can totally relate to them, connect with them. It's where you show that potential client that, hey, not only am I going to give you some amazing photos, but we are really going to get along and enjoy the experience together, right? Because that's the other part of sealing the deal, is making sure that they feel that connection before they even reach out and contact you. And that's what you want to do on your about page. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Let's check out your portfolio. Let's go to maternity. And so I did notice lots of maternity images on your homepage. You also have maternity listed first here, and then we're also seeing maternity as your primary first portfolio menu item. So I would think that maternity photos is your primary genre of photography. So I love that you have it set up this way, because you are just reiterating all over the place, I'm a maternity photographer. You do it here, you do it on the homepage, you do it in the portfolio, telling us that you're a maternity photographer first. If that's your target market, your ideal client, you've done a great job there. Bonus points there. And again, just some absolutely beautiful images. So just take a second to look at these images. Just gorgeous, you guys. Lovely, beautiful images. But I do want to point out a couple of things that I don't know about you at this point. I don't know what location you service. And I'm not exactly sure what you look like or information like that, right? So I'm into this site menu item here, and I'm hoping that you're a photographer that I can hire in my area, because maybe I did a search and your website came up, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't see that information anywhere. So that is where gallery titles, gallery captions come into play. We've already seen a couple of websites where they really took the title of that gallery and put that information in there, right? Cincinnati maternity photographer, or you could just put maternity photographer portfolio. And then in the caption of this gallery, that's where you could talk about the location, right? I am a maternity photographer located blah blah blah. I love to shoot. I offer maternity sessions in my studio at blah blah blah. But I also like to do location maternity sessions. Some of my favorite places to do those are at this place and that place and this place and that place, and actually naming those places in the caption. And if those places have websites, you can link to them in that caption, reach out to those places and let them know and ask them if to link back to you. And then creating those back and forth links is going to be super, super helpful super helpful for your SEO. So something to think about there. Okay. Let's keep going. So let's go down here. Let's just kind of take a look. So I think this is a pretty good number of images for a portfolio. Like, I don't feel like I have to scroll really far. One of the things I do see is you kind of have some colored images, a black and white, and then right here we have this big chunk of black and white. I would definitely think about going back in here and maybe consider mixing these up a little bit. Also, one of the things that you can really think about, and when people do this right, it comes across so beautiful. As photographers, right, we're visual storytellers. So how can you handpick images from your maternity shoots and place them in an order that not only is it showcasing your best work, but at the same time telling a story? So something to think about there, right? Can you organize these in a way that it's showing your best images, but also telling some kind of story by the location and position and the organization of the images? So something to think about there. I don't see the share button here, and I don't see any kind of share icon. So for a visitor to share this out, maybe they have a friend they want to send it to, they would have to copy the link and then send that link over. Not a big deal. Most of us are used to doing that, but you can make that process even easier by turning on that share button in your portfolio gallery if you want to do that. Now down at the bottom, again, I'm looking for that caption, or not that caption, those categories and keywords, something that I do feel like we're missing here. So if you've categorized keyword of these photos, again, unfortunately, it's not doing you any good for your SEO. So something that you really, really want to think about. Okay, we're going to go back up here to the top and let's go check out a couple of more portfolios. Let's go to, let's do family, and then we'll do seniors, and then we'll try to move on to the rest of the site. Okay, so let's see here. Quite a few images in here, and my internet is being a little slow, but it looks like they loaded fairly. Oh, lots of images. Okay, so guys, when I talk about portfolio image count, this is one of the reasons why I mention this. Because if your client has slow internet, bad internet connection, they're browsing on the phone and they're at a hotel or whatever, and you have hundreds of images in here, they could see a little bit of lag like we were seeing earlier. Now, luckily, it's not too bad, but that is why I definitely recommend that you make the images in here count and that you set a limit. You say, okay, I'm only going to have 10 to 15 images, but I'm going to make sure that they are my best images, maybe every month or every couple of months, you go back and you're like, okay, I've done several family shoots. Let me go back and see if I've done some better images that maybe I need to replace these with. So something to think about there, okay? Okay, let's go back up here. Same feedback, right? Thinking about the gallery title, the caption, the keywords, definitely things that you want to think about. I've only got about 2 minutes left, so let's go to information. Let's check out your session types. Really quick. Okay, so session types. Nice. Okay, this is really cool. This is a custom page. Thumbs up to you for doing a custom page. Custom pages are so amazing. You can do so much with them. And having these custom pages on session fees, not only is it good information for your clients, but it also serves an SEO purpose as well, because all of this text is searchable. And so it's going to help your search results and things like that. Now, something to think about is adding that book a session button, right? If you guys haven't checked out Book Me yet, make sure that you go watch that live stream where we talked about Book Me. It is a feature that you guys have been asking us for a while, and we introduced that feature this year. It lets people book on your website through a calendar-based booking. You can collect payments, deposits. It is an amazing, amazing feature that we've added this year. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure that you go check it out. And we did a live stream a couple of months back all about it, showing setup and all that. So definitely check out that live stream. Make sure you check out Book Me, because you could definitely add it to this page where people could then see this session information, and then they could click right on book and actually go ahead and book you and pay for that booking as well. Okay, let's go to great job having some FAQ pages. I know I'm running out of time, you guys. I'm sorry. Not having that clock super visible doesn't help me stay on track, so I got to figure out how to fix that. Great having this FAQ page. You guys, one thing to think about, right? FAQ pages, first of all, you're telling your client that you understand them so well that you know the types of questions that they are going to have, that they might not feel comfortable yet picking up the phone and calling you and asking you. So you're sending a message to your potential clients saying, I know this business so well. I know what people are going to ask, and I've got you. You don't have to even pick up the phone. I'm going to tell you about it here. So that is one huge thing that's super beneficial about these pages. But the other thing is that, again, all of that text is searchable. So make sure that you are strategically dropping keywords in that text as well, okay? Businesses we love. This is really interesting. So really cool that you have a shout out up here to businesses that you love. I think that's a great idea. Especially right now, all of us as small businesses could really use all of the support that we can get with everything that's going on. So I think that you've done a really cool thing here. Nice job setting that up. Overall, I really like the site. I would definitely think about your navigation a little bit, maybe readjusting some things, and then think about those portfolios, right? The gallery title, the captions, the keywords, all of that stuff is really going to help. And then just image count, definitely some things that I would think about. But you have a beautiful site. It's really nicely done. Some absolutely gorgeous photos, really great work. Thank you so much, Allison, for sharing that site and having it be reviewed. Thank you to everybody who submitted a site for review today. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, I gave you guys some really good tips, some good things to think about, some good points to consider. I know we are out of time, so I do want to say thank you guys to everybody who hung out with me today live, whether you were hanging out with me on YouTube or on Zoom. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Roxanne on YouTube. Let's see, who else? Zubar, Doug, and Home Phone, and anybody else that I missed on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Kathy, thank you for hanging out with us. And then you guys who are hanging out with me today on Zoom, thank you again for hanging out with us today as well. Atala, Izelle, James, Joyce, Judy, Laura, Michael, Noel, Rashawn, Richard, Stan, Susanna, and Terry, and anybody, if I missed your name or if I pronounced it wrong, you totally have full permission to make fun of me about that in chat. I'm up for it. Again, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, Zenfolio Live is coming up this Thursday. It starts at the same time. If you have not registered for email reminders yet and you're watching the recorded version of this on YouTube, make sure that you click the link below the video to register. You guys who are hanging out on Zoom, if your site was reviewed today, you are going to get, well, actually, all of you guys who are hanging out on Zoom, you're going to get an email tomorrow that will have a link to the recorded version of this. It's actually going to go to the playlist where you can watch all the past Zenfolio Lives, all the past site reviews. You guys on YouTube, you guys know where the site review archives are, and it's actually linked in the description below the video, so you can click there and check that out. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget Zenfolio Live this Thursday. We're going to be talking about access control settings, privacy settings, and all of that stuff. So make sure that you come back and join us for that. Also, just make sure that you do something positive for somebody this week, that you lift somebody up, that you encourage somebody, that you tell somebody something good about themselves, and that we also work on ourselves to make sure that we're all working together to make this world a better place, because it could really use it right now. Thank you guys again so much. I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Bye, everybody.